Welcome to today's video. There's a couple things I want to talk about. First off though, this whole video is not to teach anyone anything, not to show indicators or how to take advantage of certain protocols and stuff like that, but more as a video to get certain things off my chest for when someone texts me, calls me, messages me, or even if they email me off of a website or something like that I'm involved with. I can just simply send them this video, and it gives them a general idea of what I think about things. But we're going to be talking about a lot of things today. Starting off, obviously, we're going to be talking about crypto and how it's having a little bit of a run-up right now in this delicious, juicy, average-aggressive, passive-aggressive session right now. I don't understand why it's doing this. I was expecting it to fall, but at the same time, it did fill the CME gap, but we will talk about that in a second. But anyway, diving uber deep into some price action here, we can see that overall, Bitcoin, Dow Jones, it's time to take in a dump today. Bring it down to some shorter time frames here for you people to see it in depth. It's taking a dive. It broke out of a wedge, fell back into the wedge, retested inside the wedge, and now it's breaking out of the wedge again. That's Bitcoin specifically. I was actually making a video last night talking about how this was going to happen and how we were going to drop down to retest, but even I was wrong. It dropped down, but it didn't retest. It ended up breaking through retest. It's creating a triple bottom, so potentially we could be seeing a nice juicy run up to the second CME gap here. But because we touched the CME gap, what that means. If you're new to the space, there's a lot of types of trading. You got leverage trading, you have spot trading, and then you also have, loans and stuff like that as well. Collateralized CDPs, collateral debt positions. And of course, futures trading. There's a lot of stuff in the space, along with everything else in the world. But how CME gaps play a huge factor is you have these gaps in futures prices, right? So a lot of people will be expecting these gaps to be filled. But this is how exchanges take advantage of that. And I can't stress it enough. If you're trading and you're beginning to trade, one, stop trading Forex. Stop trying to push links. Stop trying to get people to hop on your little team. Because in reality, if you really know how to trade and you really know how to do this stuff, it applies to everything. You just got to be consistent with the strategy to whatever market you're applying it to. Anyway, point is, these big exchanges take advantage of these gaps because, for example, right now, people are expecting this to break out, right? Everyone knows that it touched the previous CME gap, and everyone's expecting it to touch this next CME gap up here, around 10,500. So, what could potentially happen, and what I think is really going to happen, is you have a bunch of people putting in longs right now. If we hop on Datamish, I bet a lot of people are putting in longs right now. I should have looked previously, prior to this video. I should have had it set up, but it's okay. Okay, perfect. So in our 24-hour period, out of all the futures exchanges and stuff like that, a lot of people are going long right now. So yes, that's a good thing, People are bullish on the asset, but at the same time, these exchanges are going to drop this price down to liquidate all those longs to take their money. That's how it's always been. There's a statistic out there. I forgot where I read it. It could have changed, but about a year and a half ago, this is why I stopped trading leverage stuff. But about a year and a half ago, or close to a year, whatever the time frame was, 80% of crypto traders, they did a poll, but it was all in California. It was like California and Silicon Valley or something like that. But 80% of traders trade on leveraged platforms, and then 62% of those traders, 62% of their trades fail. Now, however, some of their 40% might have had beefier leverage, so it overtakes the losses, but still. I don't understand why people are doing that. But anyway, here's what I think is going to happen. So as we can see, XRP as well, that had a nice little run up earlier this month. But, you know, with BTC, every single time BTC dominance drops and we have an XRP pump, that means all the alts pump. Every single alt pumps. Because you have BTC dominance obviously dropping, so money is coming out of Bitcoin, going into other assets. But if you also have XRP pumping, that's also considered a stablecoin. People trade XRP against other certain protocols to increase their bag holding. So every single time Bitcoin dominance drops and you have XRP pumping, that means big bull runs, big bull runs for what's it called? For like altcoins and stuff like that, and stuff built on EOS, Ethereum, Uniswap, all that stuff. So it's good to see, but however, recently, past couple of days, it's been the complete opposite. So I expect a crash I really do expect a crash in the altcoin markets, and I expect Bitcoin to drop as well, because you have BTC dominance going up. You have BTC dominance going up. If it breaks this wedge here, we could potentially be seeing, you know, more money going into Bitcoin, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that the Bitcoin price is going to go up, because if people are taking their Bitcoin out, right, they're transferring their Bitcoin over, putting their Bitcoin in, selling it at a higher price, then the overall asset drops in value. Therefore, also tanks everything else. But here's what I really wanted to get into. You know, a lot of people are telling me that crypto's not, you know, it's not a tangible asset. That's what people are saying. It's not a tangible asset. It's not a real thing, you know. It's all just hype, yada, 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 right? Well, what are stocks? You know, explaining what stocks are. And I ask these people the same fucking question, you know, what are stocks? Because on my indicator, on everything that I'm using, you know, I was expecting a retrace, but I wasn't expecting a retrace this high. I was expecting it to be like right here and or down here. If you look back on my YouTube on that too, I made a video about that. But, you know, we look at this divergence play that's happening right now. Okay, hold on. Yonder. Look at the big red dot, okay? Not the small red dots, but the big red dots. With money flow going down, right? This money flow here is important, guys. We got the money flow going down. Last time that happened, we ended up crashing really fast. Because if it truly was a bull run, it'd be creating higher highs. It wouldn't be creating lower lows. You feel me? So I don't understand why people are saying that. But another reason I wanted to get into is literally, these divergence plays never lie. They never fucking lie. You got a divergence play playing out right here. Boom, it dropped. You have a divergence play right here. Boom, it dropped. You had a huge divergence play right here. Right? Big divergence. That dropped like a motherfucker. So, I don't know. It's also, this is when these delicious little indicators here start consolidating. I don't know. It's looking pretty similar to me, personally. Unless if this has some crazy run-up, but Labor Day was yesterday. First time market opens on Tuesday. You'd expect things to pump, but in fact it dumped like 2%, 3%, or whatever the price is. So, I don't know. I'm very curious to see what happens with the whole stock market thing. I've been praying for stocks to crash and for the money that crashes out of that into crypto. But sadly, like I was telling you about the leverage trading, the same people trading the leverage tokens on cryptos are also trading the leverage or not leverage tokens, but leverage stocks on, you know, NYSE and stuff like that. So it's the same people trading this shit. They're just money hungry motherfuckers. They're not real. They could care less about what the asset is and what the potential it has on economy and future growth, future innovation. They just want to make money off of it. So fuck them. They can eat an ass and shit out bricks for all I care. They don't deserve to live. But however, sadly they're the ones who control the money. They're the ones who have their fucked up tentacles wrapped around crypto right now. And until that changes, anything that stocks do, crypto will follow, and or anything that crypto does, stocks will follow. So that's that. There's not really anything else I want to get into. But like I said, we do have a divergence play coming up, and I don't know. I'm very curious to see what happens. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to be looking back at this 3-4 weeks from now, being like, haha, fuck yeah, called that shit. But at the same time, if it does truly break out and doesn't drop whatsoever, I'm going to honestly be so surprised, because I just, well, we'll get into it just in a second, but this is what I was talking about. So this is Apple, right? We have Apple's price, stock price. That's the black line. And then we also have its adjusted fundamentals, its real fundamentals, its ratios, dividends per quarter, all that stuff, right? Underneath. So since the beginning of time, practically, right, back here in September of 2001, from there till September of 2019, this stock price has been jumping in between the earnings, in between things, and people have actually used these as indicators. That's what I was actually reading it in a newspaper, that people don't even trade it off of indicators. Most people just trade it off of, operational earnings and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. But as you can see, though, the price was literally trading in between it. Okay? All of a sudden now, 2020 hits, right? Big crash happens, and the price is literally so exponentially higher than any of the other estimated growth earnings. So the reason that I don't understand, and for everyone that I'm pushing this link to, this video, if you're in stocks, you're literally retarded. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think. You're dumb as dirt, because you have one of the top stocks in the market right now, Tesla's included. As much as I love to show you all the, price correlated with fundamentals, fucking, shares and stuff like that, I just chose this because everyone knows Apple. I should have chose Tesla, but at the same time, I don't really care. It's literally the same shit within every single stock. It's being propped up by smart money. It's literally being propped up by smart money. If we look at the actual fundamentals of Bitcoin, right? If we actually look at the fundamentals of Bitcoin, this hit a higher high, like, not too long ago. This literally made an all-time high not too long ago. So, yeah, okay, so we're coming up on another all-time high. That's pretty cool to see. That's actually extremely nice to see. Damn. We look at it at the all-time, and, like, the actual strength of the network has been growing exponentially. So, it's literally higher. The actual fundamental... the fundamentals of Bitcoin itself are higher than what the price was in 2017, around that 19.75k range, 20k range. So for all you guys saying Bitcoin's risky, you're just dumb as dirt. You have obviously never done any research. You haven't done nothing whatsoever to progress yourself within the space of investments, period. And I don't know what you're doing. You're following hype. That's what you're doing. And it's sad to see, because obviously this isn't real growth. How is it that Apple shuts down some of its factories and lay off some of its workers, and then the stock price shoots up? How is that? Please explain that to me. Anyway, getting into our next subject here. I know a lot of things are going on in the world right now. You have riots, you have looting, you got Black Lives Matter protests about some terrible, terrible deaths, right? All the shebang. Yet no one's talking about the fact China and India are going into, a border war right now. And the reason that this is so important is because you have the U.S. backing India, and you also have Russia backing China, and it was announced like a week and a half ago that Pakistan and the Middle East were trying to now control the border. So you literally have 3 territories trying to claim one little border. And the reason they're trying to claim this border is for, shipment purposes and roads and railroads and, like, getting things across certain places. But as much as I love to dig really, really deep into how this affects the world and how this affects everything else, it's kind of just, it's literally there out in the open for you to understand. It's like, I'm just here to just show you. I'm not going to go in depth to, like, tell you how this affects other things, how it affects markets, how it affects all that stuff. I'm just here to tell you, like, there's so much shit going on in the world right now that is so much more important than what's happening in the United States. And you guys are bitching about 2 politicians that are literally backed by the same exact company, the same exact firms, They're backed by the same exact fundamentals. And you guys are fucking rioting, getting all pissed. It's pathetic. I don't understand. There's so many other things in life to worry about. But hey, like I said, you guys will continue to be slums of society and not looking past the fucking news. So it's all good. I don't really care. But yeah, that's honestly kind of the main things I really wanted to talk about. And I'm making another video sometime this week on how how Hong Kong and what's happening in Hong Kong. Because like I said, China's trying to take over this border in India, and they already took over Hong Kong, but no one's talking about that. Hong Kong is probably one of the biggest hubs in the world for money, T-bills, all that shit. So that's going to be a juicy video for me to just have in my YouTube gallery, per se. Just because, like I said, 5 years from now, I'm going to be looking back at this shit being like, damn, I was so on top of it. Because I have done extensive research, and I'm not wrong. I'm just not wrong. I don't care what you guys say. You guys might know me from past lives, but seriously, I have been cranking some shit out. But point is, last thing I wanted to get into, okay? A lot of people want to know, what's the best coin to get into? How do you make money in crypto? Yada, yada, yada. What's the best coin to get into? So, I'm going to be the nice guy that I am, and I'm going to give you a juicy pair to look at. It's called Polkadot. It's a brand new ICO, okay? And the reason I'm saying to get into Polkadot right now is, one, it could potentially be popping off at any minute. I expect it to drop, though. I expect it to drop back to its little support range over here, okay? And the reason I say that is simply because of the fact that everything else is dropping. But we run our little Fibonacci's and shit like that, and eventually I'm slowly gonna make... Where the fuck is the Fibonacci? I'm slowly gonna make the video course as well. I'm slowly doing that. But just between everything else that's going on in my life, I have time, but I don't have time. But as you can see, we have their gold zone here, 0.5, 0.618 range. That's a trending Fibonacci zone, okay? TFRZ. Trending Fibonacci range zone. Whatever. Point is, I learned that from YouTube. But the next zone after that is obviously the 1.618 range. So, we have a zone that's close to that. That's why I think it's coming down. You can see that the price dropped, respected it, came up, got rejected at the next zone, came down. You can literally stopped at the next Fibonacci zone, came up, stopped at the gold zone. Like, it's probably getting rejected. It's going to create literally already created a lower low, or a higher low. So that's not good. My bad. A lower high. It's too many higher, too many lowers. So high, man. Point is, it's dropping, but this would be a really good buy. And the reason I say it's a good buy, how do I word this? As much as I love to get into how the actual technology of blockchain works in this video, and how this parachain technology has such a huge play in the relays and all that stuff, and has just such a huge play on crypto, to make it simple, okay? To make it simple for your head to wrap around it. If you're trying to build a shed, okay? If you're trying to build a shed to have tools in it, to have your building materials, whatever the fuck your shed's used for, okay? You have your lumber, so you have your walls, you have your shingles, you have your roof, you have your nails, right? You have your screws, your 2x4s, whatever you have all the materials, okay? But you're missing one thing. You're missing a hammer, and you're missing a drill to screw everything together. Okay, so you have all the tools to build, yet you're missing the one tool to build. You feel me? So, you have, finally, a network that connects and bridges Ethereum protocols, so pretty much every single DeFi protocol out there, okay? And it's 100% open source, And the beauty about the Polkadot ecosystem is it's a governance platform. So the token holders not only receive rewards in proof of work, so proof of staking, so you can stake your tokens, but they also receive rewards as in taking their tokens and voting on what projects are allowed in the ecosystem. So right now, a huge problem in the crypto space. It pisses me off so much that so many people are just trying to rob people left and right. I don't get at what point in life people just, decide to do that shit. But right now in the ecosystem of crypto, you have way too many people trying to screw people over through ICOs. And what an ICO is, it's essentially like an initial public offering, but an ICO is the initial coin offering. So a company, per se, let's just say Ethereum, okay? Ethereum back in the day, they say, hey, we have this crazy technology, yada, 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 it can help a lot of things. Buy our token and be involved with the project, right? So news goes out, it gets listed on Binance, KuCoin, all these great exchanges, right? Price goes up, goes up, goes up, goes up, goes up because of hype, because of how great of a project it is, and yada, yada, yada. Not saying all ICOs are shitty. I'm just saying there's a lot out there who are. And then all of a sudden, the people who are the creators of Ethereum, they decide to sell their holdings, take all the money, and then close the project off. So all the people who bought in lose their money. It's a pretty simple Ponzi scheme, but Polkadot eliminates that. It literally eliminates that because you have a whole ecosystem that has to vote on the protocol for it to be part of the parachain that's connected to every other blockchain, including Ethereum, Bitcoin Lightning Network, XRP, Ripple, all that stuff. All the juice, all the jazz. It's beautiful. Tokens only at $4.35. I really expect it to drop down to at least like $2.50 in the next, month and a half, along with another big crash. But at the same time, if you're accumulating it at $4 and accumulating it at $3, and it's going to be $10,000 in the next 2 years, 3 years, does it really matter what price you get it at now? I don't think so. I think it'd be a smart idea to accumulate on the way down, dollar cost average, take $400-$500, divide it by 30, buy it every single day. It's pretty simple. It's pretty awesome. But that's really all I wanted to get into. There's really nothing else to say. And as we speak, it's crashing. So I'm really excited to see what happens this month, and just this year in general. Like I said, I expect a huge crash and a huge pump in crypto and stocks to die. Because obviously, stocks are being propped up by smart money. Thank you for everyone who has actually finished the end of this. If you have any other questions, you can send your boy a message, a DM on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow me on all this other bull honky that I'm just affiliated with. I'm going to be setting up another social page called Uptrend. It's decentralized, so I can post pretty much anything on there and not get shadow banned or just tagged for anything. It's 100%. It's just 100% open source. It's a legitimate project. But anyway, that is all that I have for y'all, and I really, really hope you guys understand how the world's working now. Save yourself from inflation and accept decentralization. Deuces.